G'day, Simon and James at a crazy South OC Cars and Coffee. I have never seen more carbon, I've never seen more McLarens, I've never seen so much stuff. Mate, what about you?
Yeah, it is a busy Father's Day weekend here. We have so many cool cars here this morning. We have a P1, like you said, a full carbon Mustang, full carbon Camaro. I mean, literally every kind of classic and modern supercar that you guys could possibly want to see. It is just an awesome collection of cars here today.
Yeah, absolutely insane, and the weather's holding up, which is great as well, which it hasn't the last couple of weekends. Hey, remember, if you come to South OC Cars and Coffee, please remember, respect our rules. No speeding, no revving, no burnout. That includes on the streets of San Clemente and getting on and off those freeways. We got a lot to look at, mate. Let's go for a walk.
Let's do it.
There is so much carbon fibre in this front row, from James's R8 to Jerry's beautiful GT3 RS here. Look at the beautiful carbon on that. And just rolling through something a little different, this GT500, all carbon fibre, absolutely beautiful the way the detail's been put into this car, all of the vents, and yet not overdone. Look, the mirrors aren't carbon on this, which is kind of cool. What a wonderful looking car. So, Ford versus Chevy, check this out. This is a 1968, wonderful looking Camaro here. Once again, entirely carbon fibre. This car's been a previous car of the week winner. Look at the way they've done the delete of the drip seals through here. Just everything about this car, once again, not overdone. The mirrors are not carbon fibre, and yet a lot of other details are, including the front bumper. Love this car. Make sure to go check this out, previous car of the week. And then over to McLaren over here.
So keeping the carbon theme going, we have this absolutely mental McLaren P1 here at the event. You can see it is full exposed carbon fiber. You can see the V-weave where everything meets on the front. Literally every panel on this car is full exposed carbon. Matches these other two so perfectly. And then next to it, we have a full white section. We have this crazy McLaren 765 LT Spider next to a 991.1 GT3 and then another 991.1 GT3 Cup. Just a crazy lineup of cars here this morning. Here we have an all-new Aston Martin at the show this morning. This is quite possibly one of the most pretty cars that I've ever seen. We have a stunning metallic silver exterior, crazy, what I want to say, a 22-inch wheels with carbon ceramic brakes, 21s actually, and then a beautiful tan interior. You can see this thing is absolutely stunning. You have quilted leather seats, tons of buttons on the infotainment screen over there. Just a really, really kind of driver-centric interior. Come here on the back, just so, so pretty.
I am restricted, fixed upon the web.
Here we have what I think might be the most well-maintained 430 that I've ever seen. You can see it's all original. It has a beautiful gloss black paint, the silver wheels down the bottom, and then this classic black leather interior, Alcantara inserts on the seats. Very, very cool exhaust system. Just such a pretty car, and the owner has done such a fantastic job of keeping this looking original and in immaculate shape. Here we have the Fonzie's 991.1 Turbo S with a full .2 GT2 RS conversion. You can see it says Turbo RS on the front, staying true to its nature. Tons of carbon fiber on this car and a lot of original GT2 RS parts. You can see we have the actual exposed fenders here, the crazy side skirts, and actually the fender fins, or the roof fins rather, from the brand new 992 GT3 RS. But he's done such a good job of converting this. The guys at LNC did all the work on it, and it just looks super, super cool. So what I originally thought was a wrap on this 765 LT ended up being the crazy MSO paint scheme on here. You can see it has a beautiful gloss green on the front, tons of carbon fiber on this thing, and then a fully exposed carbon fiber wing. This is honestly one of the most nut 765 LTs that I've ever seen. I think it has the P1 seats inside, I'm not too sure, but it is absolutely stunning.
Standing tall, fear outweighed the person you are. Oh.
Here we have two 720Ss that are modified to the T. Here we have a full blue 720. I'm pretty sure it's either a Rift or a Vorsteiner kit. Not too sure. I see that it does have a 1016 roof scoop on there. This thing is just absolutely nuts. You can see it has some crazy BBSs on it. This one has a set of signatures on it, and I believe a Rift kit as well. This one being a Spider, of course. Just such a cool setup on these cars. From the way they sounded when they came in, it sounds like they make some serious power, at least, you know, maybe downpipes and tunes on these along with the body kits, but very, very cool cars. Here we have a 750S at the show this morning. You can tell it's a 750 because it has the USB-C style exhaust on it. It's kind of like a cross between the 720 and the 765. You know, it has a lot of the 765 kind of aero features on it. Of course, it has the full painted front end, which I'm not sure how I feel about it. It's kind of growing on me, but I'm really interested to see what these look like when they have some modifications on them. See, this guy just picked it up from Ogar. It has the sticker on it still. Very, very cool. I love the paint on it though. It's gorgeous.
Well, this is definitely not a Mad Max Interceptor based on the Aussie Ford Coupe for the 1970s. This looks like a Corvette. Somebody's put Mad Max on the side of it. Rather extreme, one would say. LS poly-FI high-rise manifold in there. Got a Pro Charge on it, but no belt on it, so 0 pounds of boost in this bad boy. Hope that's not affecting the tune. I'm not quite sure the purpose of this. Maybe to get YouTube followers. It's a C7, so it's a relatively new vehicle, but somebody's put a ton of work and fabrication to it. I walked up and looked at this little microcar and thought, I don't know what this is. And I see Trevor, and Trevor tells us some pretty cool things about it. So what is it, Trevor?
So this is my 1992 Mazda AutoZam AZ1.
And you just mentioned it's actually a Suzuki Motors in there. So was it a joint build between Mazda and Suzuki?
Bit of a collaboration. Suzuki did build the engine for the Mazda branded AutoZam, and then Suzuki actually got jealous and made the exact same car for themselves and branded it under their own name called the Cara. Identical.
And they only built how many of these?
About 4,500 or so.
Yeah, and how many of the Suzukis were built?
600.
Yeah, I think this one looks cooler though. This has got a few little different design
This
things.
one's special. It's got a custom hood.
Right over here, I love that.
It's got the louvers, which are really sought after
Yep.
for these. It's got the Mazda Speed kit.
I like the F40-ish
Yeah,
type.
100% Simon.
Really cool.
It's got the M21015 rear panel. But yeah, the engine's back here. Not too much going on, but enough,
that's pretty cool.
Enough to have fun. It's a 3-cylinder turbo, 660 cc's.
Now, just trying to figure it out, it is slightly ahead of the, it is mid-engine.
Yeah, mid-engine.
Yeah, it's not back behind the rear axle, which determines whether it's rear engine or mid-engine.
Exactly.
Hey, Trevor, this is really cool, mate.
Appreciate it, Simon.
Thank you for bringing it out. It's very cool. Richard Petty, a man that anybody who follows any sort of history on NASCAR knows a lot about. There's his signature right there. Now, of course, famous for driving incredibly well, for his big moustache and his cowboy hat. But the thing about this particular car is when these came out and started racing, the aero was like nothing else that had ever been seen on the track. And the other teams protested until they, in fact, were able to get it banned. This particular one, obviously, notice no headlights under there. Normally it's got pop-up headlights. But there are a lot of cool things about this car that were way ahead of its time. If you look at the rear spoiler, for example, notice this one's actually kicked up. There is adjustment, so you can increase the amount of downforce by that adjustment. The other thing that the race cars had was, you know, if that flew off through an accident and went flying back into another driver, it could obviously kill them. So these were actually connected by a cable in the bottom. So if it came off, it was flying around the back of the car. Just absolutely incredible car. Changed the whole look of aero and the way things were going. And you look at this thing now, it's enormous, but it looks so cool. And it really is the statement of the American muscle car of this era. And nowadays, the genuine one is just worth through the roof. So I was just about to walk away and I met the man who built this car, Tim On. Now, you just said something pretty cool about this car. Where did you build this car?
I built it in Russia
15 years ago, right?
15 years ago. Yeah.
So I got to ask the question, driving around this car in Russia, what kind of looks did you get?
So you know it's very different car anyway in US too.
Yeah, exactly.
But when I drive it in Russia, nobody understands what's happening.
Yeah, right.
They're thinking maybe it's not a car, maybe it's something, you know, some custom project.
Yep.
Or also everybody know the Cars movie.
Yes.
And wow, it's a Mr. King.
Yeah,
So
right.
They're thinking that I build the car looks like in Cars, but nobody understands that this is like copy of Supercar.
So I'm going to ask you the question, if you're in Russia, how did you know about Richard Petty and what made you want to build this car?
So I was a big fan of NASCAR and Richard Petty from my childhood. So I was like, you know, when I got my shop, and I was thinking I need to build the thing like this. So I want to build the Supercar, but it's so expensive to buy a real one.
Yeah.
So I bought the Road Runner and make a clone.
It's awesome. Hey, great. Thank you so much for bringing it to the show. Great to see you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, read my lips, you don't like that, you're drowning without me. Take it all back, but if you want my sympathy, honey, well come as a bitch, get ready for this. Get ready for this.
The old T-Bucket, it is a dying breed. And I think safety might have been one of the reasons why. But it was such a great expression of hot rodding. So many cool things about it. Look at this one, it's got Mustang, am I guessing right, 65 Mustang taillights in the back? Yeah. Look at the rubber on the back of this thing. Holy cow, side pipes, absolutely amazing. The one thing I do like, the old T-Buckets were notorious for literally having a vertical steering shaft down through the floor. It was like steering a truck or a bus, not so safe. But this looks like it's set up pretty well. Good to see you. Looks really good. Running a small block Chev. Very, very nice. Look at that intake there. Very cool. This is a cool kind of, and look at this gauges over this side. Wow, this is really, really cool. You know, the old T-Bucket, it was a personal choice thing, but there's something really intimidating about seeing this coming up behind you down the highway. This is really cool. Take a look at this massive, massive, massive Imperial crown. This is so interesting. Look at the way the headlights actually aren't set back in the body. They're sitting in their own cups here at the back. Just so many things on it that are kind of design cues that look like they were left over from the past but still put onto this vehicle at the time. The bubble glass, looks like the interior is all complete survivor interior. I'm guessing the stripes aren't original, but hey, maybe they were, you never know. Push button transmission coming around the back. I mean, look at this here. Look at these details of these, the lights at the back, the tail lights. Like, once again, just bolts to the outside, not bolts put back into the body. What an interesting thing to look at. Very, very cool.
Is is it for a very busy Father's Day weekend here at South OC Cars and Coffee. Please remember, if you're coming to the event, respect our rules, no revving, no speeding, no burnouts. That includes on the property, driving through the streets of St. Clemente, then of course getting on and off those freeways. I want to say a huge thank you to all the sponsors. We have the Bracketeer Way Marketing, McGuire's, Hemmings, VinFast, Mazda, iAccident Attorney, PDM Brands, Next Level Auto Protection, Happy Jewelers, Carbon Tastic, Mountain View Adventure Vehicles, Alpha Towing, and then One of One Vans. And then I also want to say a huge thank you to all the volunteers that help us put on this event each and every week. We could not do it without you guys. Please remember, if you want to become a volunteer at South OC Cars and Coffee, hit us up on Instagram at South OC Cars and Coffee merch. So we handle all the volunteer rostering, and then while you're over there, check out some of the new hats, hoodies, t-shirts, everything that you guys could possibly want from South OC Cars and Coffee. If you are volunteering at the event, you get to bring your car in before 8:30, and Ruby Xana provides a free coffee and donut for everyone helping us out.
Yeah, big thank you to Ruby for doing that, and of course also feeding the masses as well. And a thank you to the outlets in San Clemente for allowing us to be here. If you want to go to the movies, do some shopping, go to a restaurant, grab a coffee, come to the outlets, tell them South OC Cars and Coffee send you. Well, mate, that is it for this busy weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. We'll see you back here next week for another South OC Cars and Coffee.
Thank you, guys.